The Miami sun baked the garage, its heat pressing against Javier Torres' hands as he tightened a bolt on a 1980s Galaga arcade cabinet. At 34, the mechanical engineer moved with precision, his fingers tracing wires to a flickering bulb. The machine hummed, a faint pulse of life, tied to memories of his late father teaching him to solder circuits in a humid backyard shed. Javier's day job, designing tools for car manufacturers, kept assembly lines running and drivers safe. Here, in the garage, he rebuilt what others discarded, finding order in the chaos of cracked boards and worn relays. Sophia, his wife of 6 years, leaned against the doorway, her phone angled just so, capturing the moment for her growing followers. Her voice cut through the hum of a box fan. "Your toy's gone, Javier. Time to man up." The words landed sharp, like a tool slipping off a screw. He paused, setting the wrench down with care, not because he feared breaking anything, but because he needed to hold on to himself. "Which one?" he asked, voice steady, eyes on the empty dolly across the garage. A blank space stared back where his rare Tempest machine, a keepsake from his father, had stood for months. Sophia's lips curled, not in joy but in triumph, as if she'd already won. "Sold it. Marketplace guy. We need the space." She tapped her phone, scrolling, dismissing his question about a bill of sale with a shrug. "It's just stuff." Javier's stomach tightened, the way it does when a car drifts too close on the highway. He glanced at the joint account app on his phone. $800 withdrawn for a storage unit he hadn't approved. The transaction glowed like a warning light. "Show me the receipt," he said, calm as if asking for the time. She laughed, high and bright, and walked back inside, leaving the air heavier than before. Javier's mind clicked like a relay switch. The Tempest wasn't just metal and glass. It was late nights with his dad, learning patience through burnt fingers and buzzing circuits. Sophia knew that. She'd once called his restorations art, back when her smile didn't come with a caption. Now, her posts framed his passion as childish, her influencer career rewriting their life into a story where she was the visionary and he was the obstacle. Last week, she'd tossed his wiring sketches, calling them clutter, while her branded mailers piled up on the counter. His swap meet mornings became her brunch punchlines. Javier saves old games like they're stray dogs. He stepped to the empty space, noting the clean floor, the folded moving blankets. The Tempest's back glass, a rare find with a faint crack he'd planned to stabilize, was gone too. He pulled out his phone, snapped photos of the gap, and timestamped them. In his app, built to catalog his projects, he logged the model and serial number, a ritual to ground himself. Sophia's voice echoed from the house, loud on a call about decluttering for growth. Javier didn't follow her inside. Instead, he opened his banking app again, spotting a truck rental charge next to the storage unit. The pattern was forming, small moves, hidden in plain sight, each one chipping away at what he'd built. At work the next day, Javier walked the plant floor, checking torque specs on a new fixture. His phone buzzed with a notification. Sophia's latest post, a photo of their kitchen, his toolbox pushed to a corner, captioned, "Choosing progress over playtime." Her followers dropped hearts. One commented, "Get him to grow up." Javier's jaw tightened, but he didn't reply. On his break, he opened a new bank account, separate, quiet, and redirected a portion of his paycheck. He wasn't hiding money. He was securing it. Back home, Sophia greeted him with a smile that didn't reach her eyes, offering takeout while scrolling her analytics. "Big collab coming," she said, as if his silence was agreement. He ate, washed his plate, and asked again for the Tempest's bill of sale. Her laugh was a blade. "You're so predictable." That night, Javier sat in the garage, the Galaga cabinet dark but alive with potential. He wrote in his notebook, "Truck rental, storage unit, sale without consent." The facts lined up like parts on a bench, waiting for assembly. Sophia's posts weren't just jabs. They were a campaign, each one testing how far she could push before he broke. He wouldn't. He locked his credit with a few clicks, set alerts for joint account transactions, and photographed his remaining machines. At a work barbecue the next evening, Sophia played her role, joking to his boss, "Javier's married to his arcade games." The crowd chuckled, but his boss, sensing the edge, asked about cycle times. Javier answered with specs, then turned to Sophia. "Got that receipt yet?" Her smile faltered, just for a second, before she pivoted to charm the room. Alone later, Javier emailed himself the photos, the charges, and a screenshot of her post. He wasn't building a case for her. He was building one for himself. The garage fan whirred, the air thick with Miami's late summer. He looked at the Galaga, its lights waiting to blink again, and felt the weight of a choice forming. Sophia wanted a reaction she could post. He'd give her something else, a line she couldn't cross without consequences. Javier Torres tightened a relay switch on the Galaga cabinet, the Miami garage thick with evening heat. His phone buzzed, a notification from the joint account showing another unapproved charge, this time for a boutique subscription box. Sophia's voice drifted from the house, pitching a self-care collab on speakerphone. Her influencer campaign had shifted gears, each post sharper, framing Javier as the anchor holding back her dreams. Last night, she'd changed the Wi-Fi password, calling it a digital reset, when he couldn't access his project logs. He'd asked for the new code. She'd smirked and said, "Figure it out." He didn't argue. Instead, he connected to a neighbor's signal, downloaded his logs, and saved them to a new cloud drive he'd set up that morning. The pattern was clear now. Sophia's moves weren't random. She'd sold his Tempest arcade machine, a relic from his father, without consent, and now she was rewriting their life to fit her narrative. Her latest post showed their living room, his toolbox shoved under a table, captioned, "Clearing space for bigger things." Comments cheered her on. "You're killing it." Javier screenshot it, added it to his growing file, and kept working. At the plant the next day, Javier adjusted a torque curve on a CAD model, his focus a shield against the buzz of his phone. Sophia had texted a nursery mood board, pastel colors and soft woods, with the message, "This is what we could have if you'd prioritize us." The word "us" felt like a prop, not a promise. He didn't reply but forwarded the text to his email, logging it alongside the storage unit and truck rental charges. During lunch, he called his bank, setting a $100 transaction alert on the joint account and removing Sophia as an authorized user on his personal card. The clerk confirmed it in minutes. Javier saved the confirmation PDF. Back home, Sophia sat at the kitchen counter, filming a video about reclaiming space. She'd moved his soldering kit to the basement, replacing it with branded candles for a shoot. "It's about flow," she said, not looking up. Javier nodded, then asked about the storage unit charge. She waved it off as seasonal decor and turned up her podcast, drowning out his follow-up. He stepped outside, called the storage company, and learned the unit was in her name but paid with their joint card. He requested a payment history, which arrived in his inbox by evening. 3 months of charges, none discussed. The next morning, Sophia hosted brunch for her influencer friends, their laughter spilling into the garage. Javier overheard her say, "He's obsessed with those games, but I'm building our future." The group giggled. One asked if he'd sold the rest yet. Javier walked in, carrying a tray of empty coffee mugs, and said, "Still waiting on that Tempest receipt." The room stilled. Sophia's friend, Carla, shifted uncomfortably, but Sophia laughed it off. "He's so serious." Javier washed the mugs, dried his hands, and emailed his lawyer a summary of the sale, attaching photos of the empty garage space. That afternoon, he drove to a youth center 2 blocks away, dropping off spare circuit boards for their tech club. The kids, wide-eyed, asked how arcade machines worked. Javier sketched a relay diagram on a napkin, explaining current flow. Their excitement sparked something steady in him, a reminder of why he rebuilt what others discarded. Back home, Sophia was filming again, this time in the driveway, posing by their car, his car, titled in his name. Her caption read, "Ready for the next chapter." Javier checked the car's key fob settings on his app, disabling her access with a 4-digit code. He didn't announce it. He just saved the confirmation. By evening, Sophia escalated. She posted a story about men who cling to the past, tagging Javier directly. His phone lit up with notifications, her followers debating, a few defending him. An old coworker texted, "You okay, man?" Javier replied, "Handling it." He opened his insurance app, filed a claim for the Tempest, and uploaded the photos, her post, and the storage unit charges. The claim form asked for a narrative. He wrote, "Unauthorized sale of personal property, sentimental value, no bill of sale provided." The submission took 10 minutes. He followed it with a non-emergency police report, labeling it a domestic property dispute. The officer's email response was neutral, asking for any receipts or proof of ownership. Javier sent his app's inventory log. Sophia's next move came at dinner. She slid her phone across the table, showing a booking for a brand strategy retreat. "We could afford this if you sold the rest of your junk," she said, fork poised over her salad. Javier leaned back, meeting her eyes. "Show me the Tempest buyer contact, and we'll talk budgets." Her jaw tightened. She scrolled instead of answering. Later, he found the household tablet locked with a new passcode. "For boundaries," she said when he asked. He nodded, then used his laptop to cancel the joint card's autopay for her streaming subscriptions. The confirmation email arrived as she filmed a nighttime story, oblivious. Javier sat in the garage, the Galagas hum a quiet ally. He opened his notebook, adding, Wi-Fi lockout, tablet passcode, retreat booking. Each entry was a piece of a machine he was starting to understand, one built to dismantle him. He emailed his HR department, updating his emergency contact to his brother and removing Sophia from his benefits portal. The change locked in silently, like a bolt sliding home. Sophia's voice carried from the house, planning a shoot in our new studio, his garage. Javier closed the notebook, powered down the cabinet, and stepped into the night air. He wasn't reacting. He was redesigning. That evening, Javier sat in the garage, wiring a mini playfield for the youth center. His phone pinged. A DM from Sophia's friend Carla. She shouldn't have sold it. "I'm sorry." He nodded to himself, then powered up the Galaga. Its lights blinked steady, a small victory. Sophia's posts were losing traction. Her followers sensed the gaps in her story. Javier's affidavit cleared with the insurer, who scheduled a payout. He saved the email, then wrote in his notebook, "Card declined, storage locked, friend's apology." The machine Sophia built was stalling, and he was already a step ahead, recalibrating his life with every quiet move. Javier Torres soldered a wire on a mini arcade playfield in his Miami garage, the hum of the soldering iron steady against the night's quiet. His phone sat silent. No new posts from Sophia since her brunch card declined publicly yesterday. Her influencer facade was fraying. Her latest story, a vague plea about overcoming obstacles, drew fewer likes, with comments asking, "What's the real story?" Javier saved the screenshot, adding it to his file with the storage unit invoice and truck rental contract. He'd emailed Sophia a clear choice days ago, counseling with restitution for the sold Tempest machine or legal separation. Her silence was her answer, but he wasn't waiting for her to decide his next move. At the plant, Javier fine-tuned a conveyor system, his hands steady as he adjusted a sensor. His phone pinged with an email from the insurance company. The Tempest claim was approved, a check pending his final signature. He uploaded the affidavit, confirming the machine's value and Sophia's unauthorized sale. The adjuster's response was curt, professional, no drama, just facts. Javier forwarded it to his lawyer, who was drafting separation papers. During lunch, he checked his bank app. The joint account showed a new attempt. A $200 boutique charge declined. He'd frozen it to bill payments only, and the alert confirmed it held. Sophia texted, "You're making this personal." He replied, "Send the buyer's name." No response came. Back home, Sophia was filming in the kitchen, staging candles and a journal for a self-discovery reel. She'd moved his project blueprints to the attic, claiming they disrupted her flow. Javier retrieved them, photographing each page for his cloud drive. He asked about the boutique charge. She shrugged, "Returns for my brand." He nodded, then canceled the joint account's autopay for her subscription boxes. The confirmation email arrived as she posted about breaking free from limits. Javier didn't comment, but he saved the post, noting its timestamp. The next day, Sophia tried a new angle. She knocked on the garage door, voice soft, offering to cook dinner like old times. Javier kept working, wiring a relay for the youth center's playfield. "Dinner sounds fine," he said, "but I need the Tempest buyer's contact first." Her pause was heavy. She left without a word. Later, she posted a photo of their old vacation, captioning it, "When we dreamed together." Her followers split. Some sent hearts, others asked, "Did you apologize?" Javier drove to the youth center, delivering the playfield. Kids crowded around, cheering as it lit up. He showed them how to tilt the machine without breaking it, their laughter a clean sound against Sophia's curated noise. By Wednesday, her strategy shifted to escalation. She showed up at Javier's plant, asking the receptionist to see him. He'd left instructions, communicate via email, subject line receipts. The receptionist handed her a printed note with the same message. Sophia lingered, filming a clip about being shut out, but left when no one engaged. A coworker texted Javier. She looked mad, "But you good?" He replied, "All set." That evening, Sophia tried charm again, touching his arm, suggesting a weekend getaway to reconnect. Javier stepped back. "Restitution first," he said, voice level. She pivoted to anger, accusing him of punishing her. He saved her text, then emailed his lawyer an update. The storage unit saga unraveled next. Sophia drove there with a friend, phones ready for content, but the red lock remained. The manager, recognizing her from her posts, explained the account was closed. Javier had paid the balance to clear his name. Sophia's friend stopped filming when the manager cited policy. Sophia texted Javier, "You're humiliating me." He replied, "Send the invoice." Her next post, a tearful rant about control, backfired. Followers questioned her story, one commenting, "Sounds like you sold his stuff." Javier archived it, then checked his email. The insurance check had cleared, $4,000 deposited into his new account. He bought a used workbench for his garage, saving the rest. On Friday, Sophia's brand pitch collapsed. She'd secured a meeting with a local wellness company, pitching a growth after letting go campaign, using Javier's hobby obsession as a foil. The coordinator, who followed her online, had seen a repost of Javier's benefits portal change and a comment from Sophia's cousin hinting at her overreach. The pitch ended with a polite, "We'll follow up." They didn't. Sophia came home silent, skipping her usual filming. Javier worked late at the plant, then stopped by the youth center. A kid showed him a sketch of a circuit board, asking if it could power a light. Javier nodded, drawing a quick fix on the paper. The kid grinned, and Javier felt the weight of his own choices settle, steady, not heavy. That night, Sophia's email arrived, her tone softer but vague. "I'm sorry about the machine. Can we talk?" No buyer's name, no commitment to counseling. Javier saved it, then wrote in his notebook, "Pitch failed, storage locked, apology without action." He powered down the Galaga, its screen dark but intact. Sophia's world was shrinking, her levers slipping. Javier's was holding firm, built on choices she couldn't rewrite. Javier Torres tightened a screw on a restored arcade relay in his new Miami duplex garage, the space small but his own. The air smelled of solder and rain, a quiet contrast to the chaos of the past weeks. Sophia's latest email, sent last night, lingered in his inbox, a half apology for selling his Tempest machine, offering counseling but dodging a public correction or buyer details. Javier hadn't replied. His life was no longer a stage for her narratives. He'd signed a 6-month lease on the duplex, its one-car garage perfect for his tools. The rent matched what he'd once spent on Sophia's boutique subscriptions, now canceled. His phone stayed quiet. Her posts had slowed, her followers' engagement fading as questions piled up in her comments. What really happened with his stuff? At the plant, Javier aligned a new fixture, his hands steady as he checked tolerances. An email from his lawyer confirmed the separation papers were ready, needing only signatures. The insurance payout for the Tempest, $4,000, sat in his new account, funding a second-hand transformer and bulbs for a youth center project. During a break, he checked his bank app. No new charges hit the joint account, now limited to utilities. Sophia had tried a spa booking that morning, declined for lack of funds. She texted, "We can still fix this." Javier replied, buyer's name and a public post. Silence followed. He saved the exchange, then drove to the youth center, where kids tested his donated mini playfield, shouting as they racked up points. He adjusted a tilt sensor, showing a teen how to balance nudges without breaking the game. Back at the duplex, Javier unpacked his father's old circuit diagrams, taping one to the workbench. Sophia's final push came that evening. An Instagram story showing their old wedding photo, captioned, "What we could be again." Her followers split. Some sent hearts, others pressed, "Did you make it right?" Javier archived it, then emailed his lawyer to schedule the signing. Sophia's friend Mia messaged him. She's spiraling. "I told her to come clean." He thanked her, keeping it brief. The next day, Sophia showed up at the plant again, asking for him at the front desk. The receptionist, following his instructions, handed her a note. Email only, subject receipts. Sophia left, posting a vague clip about moving forward alone. Comments were sparse. Her audience was tiring. On Friday, Javier met his lawyer in a quiet office. Sophia arrived, signing the separation papers without protest, her hands steady but her eyes avoiding his. She suggested a pause, to reconsider in a month. Javier shook his head. "Choices have costs," he said, voice even. The lawyer notarized the documents. Javier walked out, boots scuffing the tile, free of her script. That night, he cooked eggs and toast at the duplex, the meal simple, untethered from her curated aesthetic. He taped a note inside his tool cabinet. "Respect holds the frame." His phone stayed face down, no need to check her feed. Saturday, Javier wheeled a rebuilt arcade board to the youth center. Kids crowded around, asking how to code a score counter. He sketched a basic loop on a whiteboard, their excitement mirroring his own at their age. A girl flipped the machine's switch, and lights danced across the playfield. Javier grinned, the sound better than any post's likes. Sophia's email arrived later, more direct. I'll find the buyer. Let's try counseling. No mention of a public correction. Javier replied, truth first, then we talk. He sent it, then closed his laptop. His lawyer texted, confirming the financial split was in motion. 60 days to untangle accounts. Javier leased a P.O. box for his mail, ensuring no packages vanished into her decluttering. By Sunday, Sophia's online presence dimmed. Her latest post, a quote about starting over, drew minimal traction. A follower commented, you sold his dad's machine. Own it. She deleted it, but screenshots spread, sent to Javier by a coworker. He didn't repost, just filed them. At the duplex, he powered up a battered Pac-Man board, its buzz a quiet promise. He soldered a new connection, the joint clean and strong. The youth center invited him to mentor a weekly tech club. He accepted, scheduling it around his plant shifts. A kid's drawing of a circuit, taped to his fridge, felt like a blueprint for something new. The separation finalized without fanfare. Javier moved his tools to the duplex garage, each wrench and bulb cataloged in his app. Sophia's storage unit drama ended when she paid the overdue balance herself, her friend's story hinting at embarrassment. Her brand deal never materialized. The coordinator's silence spoke louder than a rejection. Javier's life, smaller but deliberate, hummed with purpose. He ate dinner alone, the quiet not lonely but earned. The arcade board blinked to life, a single bulb glowing where darkness had been. He wrote one last note in his journal, build what lasts. Then he shut off the light, the garage steady, ready for tomorrow's work.